Hello and welcome back to this episode of Arsenal Unfiltered, your 3 times a week dose of Arsenal coverage with me, your host Mark. This is the instant reaction to Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1. It's 6:38, so it's as instant as we can get. And I am joined today by my wife Fran, who has just sat and watched the game with me. Fran, straight to you. 1 point rescued or 2 points dropped? How are you feeling?
So I think if you'd asked me at the beginning of the match, I probably would have said two points dropped. Even halfway, because I think we were playing so well and there was so much promise. There was lots of chances. But yeah, towards the end, I was just absolutely buzzing to get that equaliser. And I think our neighbours are going to hate us after the amount of noise we made. But yeah, I think that's a very solid draw.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, isn't it? Because for so many years, I went into games against Manchester City and feared them. And I said that on the preview podcast. Today, I went in feeling like this is a game we should win. And I feel a bit strange right now because we didn't achieve that. And I don't think Manchester City looked that good.
No, I don't either.
No. They had their Haaland moment, which they get every game, and fair play to them. And it was a very good goal. You've got to give him that. It was a nice moment from Haaland, and his athleticism and pace just got him away from Gabriel. Saliba was caught in no man's land, really. But from there, I don't think they looked the better team in any way, shape or form. Pep certainly didn't. He pulled everyone back. I mean, it took us till the 93rd minute, I think, for the Martinelli goal. How did you feel when that went in? What did you think of the finish? And of course, the assist for Eberechi Eze, who played through the middle today.
Yeah, so firstly, buzzing that Eze got the assist. Firstly, because it's great for him, but also because he's in my fantasy this week. So that's some good points for me. I think that time stood still as we were watching on TV, as Martinelli kind of touched, and it looked like it went to the right, it looked like it went over, it didn't look like it was going in until it actually hit the back of the net. And then very, very happy, and I had almost given up hope. And they said in the commentary, all of the Arsenal fans are still sticking around. And I thought, well, of course, because there's always that chance that you get that moment that brings the game back. And yeah, Martinelli off the bench delivered.
And football, you know, we've had our seasons in the past few years defined by those little moments, little injuries or moments where you think, if that had just gone in, that chance, you might not remember this, but Trossard against Aston Villa comes up to my head quite a lot, of moments where we could have, you know, potentially gone on and changed the result to win the league. This might be the point that gets us over the line. You just never know. You never know when you're looking forward. And that moment that Eze and Martinelli produced together was so impressive. It's a weird moment because play breaks down in our half. I think Calafiori looked injured. And then he jumps back up quite quickly. Eze manages to play the ball, a brilliant ball to be fair, over the top, catch the City defence for probably the first time in the game out of position. Martinelli runs off them. It is another screaming Martinelli performance from the bench, and I'm so happy for him. Like, a player who has been much maligned by Arsenal fans and has been poor in large swathes, I think, of his recent performances, is finding some form and finding form from the bench as a bit of a super sub. So that's fantastic. Let's talk about the first half a little bit, because I think we were both sat in our living room a little bit frustrated and a little bit bored, maybe. I mean, Marino was picked from the start. Do you think Arteta got that right? Do you think he should have gone with Eze from the start, having seen the two halves and the comparisons between how we played?
I think the changes that Arteta made at half-time definitely brought something different and more to the second half. It felt a bit more creative. It felt a little bit more like we were getting after it. Like there was some real wanton drive behind the players. I mean, whether he got it right or wrong, I think Eze's not looked quite as sharp as we would like in the last couple of matches. So I think it was a fair shout to try Marino and to then have Eze on the bench, very strong bench. So I don't think he necessarily got it wrong. And we still had chances in that first half. And that's what was so frustrating. We had more possession. we looked better, but on a couple of those key moments, a couple of the kind of the duels, the one-to-one runs, we just looked a little bit slower than them. And I think we lost quite a bit through just lack of pace in some of those sprints. And then just no finish, no big Gyökeres with a head. Like, it just wasn't there. And that was frustrating.
Yeah, and you've mentioned him there, and we're going to come on to Gyökeres. I think you're quite right. I haven't looked at the stats for duels yet, but I would imagine we lost most of them. I think especially in that second half, when at about 70 minutes we started to drift out of the game again, and City started to get more possession, they started buying fouls and stuff like that. It felt like Rodri was winning every 50-50 in there. And in the first half, at times, I think for the first 30 minutes, it felt like they were winning all the duels in there. So I think you're right. I haven't looked at the stats, but I think that's a good shout. Let's talk about him then, Victor Gyökeres. I think me and you have got very different opinions on this player, and I don't think he had a bad game today, but you weren't super happy with his performance.
Well, it's not that I wasn't super happy with his performance, but I just think he's been a little bit underwhelming since arriving in Arsenal. I think all of the hype around him when we kind of bought him just hasn't really come to fruition, and I guess I find that quite frustrating. He was kind of sold to us as like the finisher, the one that's going to get the goals for Arsenal, the kind of the key to the puzzle that needs kind of putting together for this season. And I just don't think he's been it. And I know you maybe are giving him more of the benefit of the doubt, and there's probably more technicalities in the game that I don't see because I'm not quite as technical as you. But yeah, I just want him to score more, really.
Same. I think he's been hampered by the Havertz injury, to be honest. I think Havertz would be playing a little bit more. Havertz probably plays in this game, I think, if he's fit. I can see both sides of it. I can see your side. I don't remember him having a shot today, which is an issue for a player who needs to score goals. I might be wrong when we look at the stats on that, but I can't remember not any clear-cut chances for Gyökeres anyway. Is that our service? Is that playing Merino rather than Eze in the middle? You could make lots of arguments. I think his build-up play is improving every game I watch him. I am a little bit concerned about his fitness. Like you say, he doesn't look sharp. It's getting better. And I feel like, again, the Havertz injury might have helped him by playing less minutes. Maybe he can be a bit sharper. He's still adapting to a new league. I guess what I'll say is I can see why you have concerns, and I can see the argument actually, could he be doing more? But also I do see some positives, and I'm going to give him some grace that he's faced Manchester City, Liverpool, and Manchester United away at Old Trafford, who play a back three in his first 6 games at Arsenal. So I'll give him that grace. Oh, and an Athletic Bilbao team that looked really, really good defensively. We've got about a minute left of this instant reaction, Fran, so let's wind this down. Talking about it's calmed me down, because I was bouncing around the living room earlier. I do feel like in the situation we got ourselves in, it's a massive point. It's so reassuring to see that Arsenal can dig deep, can go to the bench and bring players on who go and win us games. Didn't win us this game, but saved this game, I guess. Saved us a point. 2 games in a row we've gone to the bench to get points, whether it be 3 or 1. I feel okay about that. Maybe when I sit down tomorrow to do the full match review, I'll feel a little bit different, and I'll see the stats and maybe think it's an opportunity missed against a fairly poor City team. I don't know, but right now I feel happy that we saved it. I feel happy it was Gabriel Martinelli that saved it, and we've got Port Vale on Wednesday, so we'll look forward to that. Any closing thoughts from you, Fran, about any of the players, any of the moments today, and whether you think, how do you feel? How do you feel about the result in general?
I just think that actually where we're at in the season, and with kind of some, dare I say it, slightly easier games coming up, and such a strong bench, even with some of our key players out with injury, it's just really exciting. So I think that's my overwhelming feeling is we fought hard today to get that point. It was a hard point, but I think there's loads and loads of promise for this squad. and hopefully we're going to see some kind of really good games and lots more goals in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Let's score a few more goals. Let's have a bit of an easier ride. Bukayo Saka's back, played 45 minutes, so that's a big positive from today. Hopefully we see Martin Odegaard back very, very soon. And you're right, it's been a tough start. I feel good right now. I think you feel good right now.
Yeah.
Whether I feel like that when I sit down and review the game tomorrow morning, will I feel like it's an opportunity missed? Well, follow to find out. That's the only way you can do it. Follow Arsenal Unfiltered. You'll see my match review podcast tomorrow. Probably won't preview the Port Vale game, but definitely be doing an instant reaction and match review to that. And then it's Newcastle on the weekend. So make sure you follow to hear more of Arsenal Unfiltered in the coming weeks and months. All that's left to say now is thank you for following. Oh, thank you, Fran, for being on the instant reaction. Thank you for following. Thank you for listening. And I'll speak to you very, very soon.